Good morning, happy Friday. So today is day 2 of working on this quilt, and we're going to be piecing together our quilt top. So this is, I've already done it, and I did video every step to show you guys how to do this. It is very simple. It looks complicated, it's not. So I'm gonna explain in the videos, I'm gonna do a voiceover and explain it to you guys how easy this is. So where we left off in the last video, I had sewn all of the squares together and then we cut them out. So originally we had an 8x8 square. We put front sides together, right sides together, and then we sewed 2 lines and then we cut them. After you do that, you're going to go and press your seams down, and this is what that's gonna look like. So you definitely wanna press your seams because it's just gonna make for a cleaner looking quilt. And then I'll show you on the video, but you're gonna trim the excess off. So I've got my little light here so you can see how it comes to a point right here. When it's not trimmed, there's just extra fabric hanging off. So you definitely wanna trim that up. This is the front side, and I hope that this video will help you guys. If you have questions, let me know. And I'm gonna try to put the details right after this part. So let me know.
So here's that excess fabric that I was talking about. You're just going to take scissors or a rotary cutter and just trim it off on both ends. There's 2 sides where that seam was. After you're done trimming all of the excess fabric from the corners, I like to lay out my quilt pieces how I want my quilt to look. That way I have an idea, especially with this pattern, you really want to lay it all out and figure out which pieces go best together.
This is what mine's going to look like. We'll put it here. So what I did was I laid out my quilt pieces, and then I used a little clip and I labeled each section how I want it to be. Normally you would sew like one line, one line, one line, and then sew all those together. Right now we're going to do 4 pieces together, 4 pieces together, and then we're going to put those together. It's very simple. So my notes here say the top 2 are on the top, the first 2 rows, and the bottom 2 are gonna go on the bottom. So we're gonna sew these together. These are my top 2 pieces. And when I did it, I just put them right on top. So this will be the left side and that'll be the right side. So I'm gonna sew those 2 together. I'm gonna use a zigzag stitch, and this old machine you have to physically put the zigzag stitch into it, and this is what my zigzag stitch is basically. If you can see right here, it shows you that it's going to be zigzag. These old machines, they're called cams. They come with them, so you could get a bunch of different stitches, but you have to physically switch out the stitch. It's not like a new machine where you can just click a button and it changes it for you. That's partly why I love these old machines too. Okay, so it just snaps in there like that, and now you can't really move that. And now we're gonna have a zigzag stitch. All right, there's my zigzag stitch. And then we've got that top piece. It's very good. Okay, and we're gonna set that here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do my bottom piece. But I also want to make sure that it's going to line up with that top piece. So we want the designs to be diagonal like this, perfect like that. So we're going to sew this piece together. Okay, that one is sewn. And now we've got our 2 quilt pieces. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this. So these are our top pieces. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better. This was the top piece, this was the bottom piece. They're exact same fabric, same squares. Now we have 2 separate pieces. We're gonna sew these 2 together. So I'm gonna flip this up there like that. I'm gonna line it up perfectly with the other seams. I'm gonna line it up in the middle. I'm gonna clip it. Some people would use pins. You can use pins, clips, whatever you want. But that's what mine is going to look like. Okay, now that I have that seam sewn, that's what it is going to look like. It's going to line up perfectly, just like that, and it's going to be so pretty. That's square number 1. Okay, so once you get your 4 squares sewn together, you're going to they're gonna make a big square. So this is gonna be what it looks like when you have the 4 squares sewn together. So then you'll have your bigger squares, and you're gonna take the big squares from each section, put right sides together, and sew down the way just like you would a normal quilt. So this is 2 squares put together already, and that's what that is going to look like. Here's where my seam was, and that's just 2 squares. I'm going to go ahead and add this 3rd square here, and that's going to, I only have 5 rows, so that's going to add to that and make it bigger. And then we're going to sew the rows together after we sew the columns together. Does that make sense? Okay, so I've got my big square here, and we're just going to line it up. I like to line my seams up. I'm not worried about lining the top up or the bottom up. I want my seams to be lined up because I can trim or fix the rest. Okay, and then we're just gonna check it. That's lined up pretty good.
Once you get all of your rows sewn together, you're going to have your quilt top complete. Tomorrow we'll be working on the backing, and then we'll be working on the top stitching and the binding. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help.